It's war and peace is more than beef. Must uphold the code we swore to keep. It's life and death, it's blood and sweat. We fight for love and respect. It's man to man, it's hand to hand. You make your fist, you take your stand. Prepared to throw down whenever it go down. Under pressure, don't fold, man, hold your ground. You got your pride and I got mine. It's all out war when you cross that line. I'm from LA, I grew up fighting. After school, no rules, clash of the titans. Writing from experiences.
It's time for my SmackDown vs. Raw 2009 review for PSP. And I forgot to mention WWE, but whatever. SmackDown vs. Raw 2009 is the 5th installment in the SmackDown vs. Raw series, including the original SmackDown vs. Raw. If you're wondering if I'll review any of the previous SmackDown vs. Raw games like 06, 07, 08, 10, 11, I might. In this review, I'm going to talk about the match types and the roster. First, I'm going to talk about the match types. In SmackDown vs. Raw 2009, they included the Inferno match, which is a match which the ring is surrounded by fire and you have to drag your opponent into the fire. And then the hardcore match, the name has been changed into Fall Counts Anywhere instead of, hardcore. Oh yeah, and they added the gauntlet match, and that's pretty much it. But it's pretty cool that they did that. Also, they changed it up. Like, for example, in 08, the Elimination Chamber would say Elimination Chamber, normal 6-man, Elimination Chamber, Tornado 6-man. Now, they changed it, and now if you press it, it'll ask you which one. And just like last year, it'll say Armageddon, Hell in a Cell, which, it's not supposed to say that because you can choose any arena, which makes no sense at all. Now I'm going to talk about the roster. Last year's game was the final game to feature Bobby Lashley, Tori Wilson, and Gregory Helms. It was also the last game for King Booker / Booker T and Ric Flair to appear in. In this review, I can confirm that Ric Flair is in this game, but King Booker, Booker T, not in the game. The game was the only appearance of Jimmy Wang Yang, Chuck Palum, whatever you say that, and Kurt Hawkins. It was also the last game for a lot of people to appear in, but I'm not gonna name them all because it's like a lot of people. So basically, some of them appear, so pause the video in order to see what are they. It was also the first game for a couple of people to appear in, but I think I'll stop with the roster for right now. I will say, however, that this is the first game for Johnny Nitro to appear as John Morrison instead of Johnny Nitro. I'm going to talk about the new storyline, Road to WrestleMania. Last year's game had 24/7 mode, which was pretty damn boring. This year's game has Road to WrestleMania, which is all made up stuff. Like, for example, John Cena's Road to WrestleMania, he wants to get rid of MVP's goons. Triple H's, whether he doesn't know he should join Evolution or DX. CM Punk is that he wants to bring back Extreme. Undertaker wants to stop New School. Chris Jericho wants to find out who is this masked man. This one I forgot to play, but I'll tell you in the comment section when I'm done with it. This year's Road to WrestleMania has like a different loading screen. Last year you had to it showed people with their highlights and stuff. This year it's this bar. Notably, from what I know, this and WWE Legends of WrestleMania, these are the only WWE games that have that loading bar thing. Anyways, the loading bar thing, it's okay. I mean, it's fine. Nothing bad, but it kind of is a problem because it looks like it might take forever. Really, it doesn't, but I mean, they could, at least they didn't do that for like every single WWE game. It was even said that this was like the only game to have that. It was the only one in the SmackDown vs. Raw series. This game, it's pretty fun. I mean, it had a lot of improvements on last year. Like, for example, last year's game, when you're about to do a finisher, it would show it, like, before the actual finisher would happen, it would show this thing before what would happen, and then multiple times, and then later, it'd show you the finisher, which, honestly, I don't like that. It's so weird how it looks like. I'm gonna talk about the controls right now. The controls for the game, I remember last year it was the analog stick. This year's game, it's the D-pad. I don't know why, but the D-pad kind of feels better. Not too better, though. Because I like the analog stick better instead of the D-pad. That depends on what type of PSP you have. If you have the 1000 or 2000 PSP, it'd be better. But if you have the 3000 like me, it'd be hard to say, but I guess it could be not that much of a good thing. And also, the pause interface, it's so different. Right now I'm going to talk about the Royal Rumble match. For the Royal Rumble match, I like how it tells you, it like that, because so that you know who's the champion, even though you probably know who it is already. But sometimes I don't like putting champions, and sometimes I do, but at least I get to, tells me who's champion, so I'll be sure to take them out or not. There is one problem with the Royal Rumble I would need to talk about. The Royal Rumble match on the PSP, it still is good, but there's one problem. The countdown is right there. Look, there comes a new entrance. And then, wait for it. The song doesn't come back. Different song. What the heck? I understand there's a limit to the PSP's UMD, but come on, seriously. I know they can continue the song. Every year there's a problem with sports games, you know, and there's also problems with yearly games. And it's not. And there just like last year, there were problems. For example, the Royal Rumble minigame wasn't that much fun, actually. Because you're just basically just playing this minigame, getting the bar away. Which I don't find that very fun. If they had a different one for next... I hope they have a different... Wait, they do have a different one for next year. But I'll talk about that when I review it. Which I will try to review. The problems with the game, but still is pretty good. Well, honestly, I don't know if you could buy a new copy because of the loading screen with the bar, but I don't think that matters. Still is good. It gets a 3.5 stars out of 5. It's a good game. You should buy it now.